Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Tuesday evening. I hope you're all okay. I hope you're all right. I hope the day has treated you as well as it possibly could have treated you. Obviously, this is the preview ahead of the first game in our Europa League campaign against Qarabag at home. We're talking through how we always do on previews, who we think is going to play, what we think the key issues are going into the game, and just analysing the whole situation. You know how we do these previews. Just want to say that if you're watching this and you're new, subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. And I will start this video off with a shout out because as you may or may not know, as an Englishman, my knowledge of foreign teams, maybe not from, your so-called traditional big five leagues, my knowledge is quite poor, which I'd say the knowledge of most people is quite poor. So it's always nice when someone says, actually, I know quite a bit about this team. So I want to shout out. He has actually commented. Sorry, Mr. Van Gogh. I will shout him out. Obviously, one of the legends of the chat. Van Gogh's obviously reached out to say, actually, I know quite a bit about Qarabag. And he has given me a lot of information as to who Qarabag are about, what's good about them. So there's loads that I can actually give to you. So hopefully this preview-wise, we're going to be somewhat wiser come Thursday evening. So shout out Van Gogh, mate. You're an absolute legend for that. Evening Gonzo. Sorry, morning Gonzo. It's 1:30 in the morning, Gonzo. Gonzo, what are you doing up so late? But yeah, Romero should miss this game. Yes. Evening, Marshall, mate. How are you? So let's jump in. Let's talk a little bit about Qarabag. See, this is the first game of our campaign, as you all know. Qarabag were in the Champions League third round qualifying stage. Played Ludogorets. They then played in the playoff against Dinamo Zagreb, which they lost 5-0 on aggregate. So not great there. But in terms of league form, they've won the last. So I'm going to go back here. I think they won the last 8 in the league, in the Azerbaijani league. So, coming into this, at least league form-wise, absolutely red hot, which is always something that's not great. Obviously, winning 4-0 Friday night against Neftki. I think I'm saying that right, Van Gogh. Obviously, tell me if I'm wrong, mate. Tell me if I'm wrong. Hey, Bazza, mate, how are you? Are we going to catch you live on TV? Yeah, Marshall's going to be streaking. Van Gogh's going to be streaking in the first half. He sees a Ben Davies goal and he's going to be streaking. So let's talk about Qarabag. And I'm going to be going to the messages that our Van Gogh sent me. He sent me so many. So many. So be patient with me here because there is so many to go through, which is great. Also, we'll talk about the Spurs team as well. With the Spurs team, look, I foresee a little bit like the Coventry game. So I just want to bring up the Coventry versus Spurs team because I think this will be a good indicator of what maybe we see in the game against Qarabag. I mean, looking at the starting 11 for who's played for Spurs, Forster in goal, Destiny at left back, Davies at centre half with Dragajin, a right back of Archie Gray. Midfield 3 of Bentancur, Sarr, Bergval. Front 3 of Werner, Odebear, and Slanky. Obviously, Odebear, we know, is missing the game through injury. Off the bench came Spence, Johnson, Kulusevski, Madison, Son. I mean, Vic was on the bench. Regulon was on the bench. Porro was on the bench. And Mikey Moore was on the bench. So we know Regulon's not in this. Spence is not in this. And Odebear are not in this game. So we know about those guys, so it makes it a bit easier for me. Marshall Qarabag are the guys in the Azerbaijani league. Hey Robert, mate, how are we? How are you? Yeah, so look, for Spurs, who I expect to be starting, obviously Romero missing time, Spence obviously not being fit. You'd say Archie Gray, I think, would be starting. If I'm honest, I'd try and get Archie Gray minutes here at right back personally. I think will they go the Ben Davies route at centre half or the Ben Davies route at left back? He's going to be starting because they're going to want to get minutes for either Van de Ven or Destiny back from fitness. It's an interesting one. This is where had Spence been in the squad, I think Spence would have played, personally. So look, I think Forster's going to start, if I'm honest. I do actually see Forster starting. I see Gray at right back. I see Dragic starting. Is it going to be Mickey at centre half, or is it going to be Davies at centre half with Davies filling in at left back? I think Davies at centre half. No, I think Mickey at centre half. I think Davies at left back. That's what I'm going to go with. You see Bissouma, Sarr, Bergvall in the midfield. Maybe. Oh, Van Gogh, you're not the only Qarabag fan in here. BB7 Chris Samp is in here. Cool. Fair play. Still can't get my head around Spence being out of these 8 games. Yeah, it does feel a bit annoying, to be honest, because he would be really usable right now. It'd be really usable right now because it'd be nice for Destiny or Van der Ven to be getting, midweek games off when they're not needed right now. But I think Mickey will start. No, not sorry. Yeah, I think Mickey will start, I think, if I'm going to go for it. Binfield 3. I think Bentancur might start this one again. I think Pape's going to play. I think Bergvall's going to play. I think that might be my midfield 3. And then the front 3. Front 3, I think Johnson. I think Johnson's going to start. I think Solanke through the centre. Will they go Mikey Moore? Or will they go Timo Werner? What do you guys reckon on that one? But look, on that team, even if it is Timo, we should win that. We should win this game. That's the way you should look at this game. This is a game that we should win. And obviously, with the new changes around the whole of European football and how it is. So I'm putting my AirPods down. What it is to go through, what it is to go into the playoffs, and what it is to go out. Not only is it about winning, but it's also about your goal difference. So we're going to be having to go into this game to look to win by multiple. Can you think of any youth academy players getting into this team? Perhaps names we haven't heard much of. In terms of for us or for them? Sorry. Evening, Sonia. How are you? More for you. Fair enough. Gunter, Gray, Dragic, Davies, King, Bissouma, Sarr, Bergvall, Johnson, Solanke, Moore. Led the Kings at left back, Gamecock. That's mental. Go as strong as we can. Baz's play with Yusuf Akramich. Fair enough. Fisher Plots, mate. How are you? You all right? So looking at that, I think if I was going with my team, we should be winning by multiple there. So let's come to Van Gogh. Let's jump through what he sort of said. So I'll whiz through it. All right, there's a lot, but I'll whiz through it. Don't worry. So he was talking about the keepers. Van Gogh, by the way, mate. Anything that I talk about, if you want to just put in names or anything like that, add it to the chat yourself. Right? I know you've got it on my comment in our DMs, but put it into the chat as well. So he said they got 2 keepers, one from the Portuguese league, one from another one from the Polish league, who apparently was the best in the league. He said, but when I watched them both play, they seemed a bit awkward. The Portuguese one particularly, maybe it's because they're not used to playing there yet, but still something to look out for. If pressure builds up, you might see some errors in the back line, but I think they'll get it used to it till this fixture comes. In defense, they've got 2 native right backs. The coach prefers, I do not know how to say this name, Van Gogh, and I know you won't mock me, Safarkuliev, who's apparently a hothead. Gets sent off quite often, which is always good fun. I don't want him injuring Mikey Moore, though. Matter of fact, he was actually the one that got sent off in the Leverkusen game where they got 2 injury time goals to get the win. Another one is Bayramov. He's more of an attacking type of fullback. So by the logic of that, you'd think the more defensive of the 2. International, he plays the wings, take penalties often, especially for Qarabag. They even sub him in when there's a penalty just to give it to him. God, he sounds like Harry Kane. You prefer him over the hothead, but the gaffer, for some reason, doesn't. Probably because at right back, there's another attacking focus player, Mateus Silva. The other ones are left backs. Right, okay. So, look, you try and rely on Van Gogh, and he already gets it wrong. Unbelievable. Mason King. Oh, not Ledley. Oh, okay. Ready for Bergvall and Gray Masterclass on Thursday. Agreed, Kieran. How are you, my friend? Kuchalski and Buntic are the keepers. There we go. Look, you listen to me. Van Gogh's actually just telling you everything in there. Evening, James. How are you? Evening, EZ. Mental his name's pronounced like that. Wow. I was never going to get that one. So moving on. He goes on to say not too much to talk about Silva. He's one to watch out for. He could put in a good shift. The most important about the man with the name that I can't pronounce is that he's a hothead, and he'll definitely get at least a couple of warnings and a yellow. We might even get him sent off. He wouldn't be surprised by that. The two centre back pairings are Kevin Medina and Belul Mustafazad. Medina is a big guy, easily the best one, the better one defensively. Mustafa Fazad missed internationals due to injuries. Not sure if he's back from the injury yet. But if the injury is long one, his replacement is a Maguire type. So look, pace is going to be the key thing here. But Darby he believes is the one that's going to replace if Mustafa Fazad is out. And if that's the case, it's a favoured Spurs because Badavi makes mistakes often. So looking at this, we could have a situation we've got a hothead and a player that makes mistakes. There we go. He headed a goal into his own net, and when there was no one else around, there you go then. That's the defence pretty much. They play a 4-2-3-1. The two midfield pairings are mostly Jankovic and Julio Ramo. He's like Medina, but makes mistakes more often. Jankovic was injured too, but he'll believe he's back for the game. He's the one to look out for if he plays. He's creative and puts his heart out to get the ball back. Overall, a good player. So looking at that, got some interesting players that we're going to be playing against. You did your best. No, Van Gogh, mate, honestly, I'm only winding you up, mate. You did well. You've done very well. Man City is starting a 16-year-old tonight. Good Lord. That's going to be a conversation when he goes back to school tomorrow. Hey, CDCs, mate, how are we? Big up. No Mike Moore, Will Langshaw, Tyrese Hall, only named as a sub for under 20 match against Exeter City. Well, I'd say Tyrese Hall, don't expect him, but the other two I can see being on the bench. You say the E at the end of Mustafa Fazadi. There we go. Ange learned his lesson against Coventry. Don't experiment your B team against any club because our A team currently we're still longer to go in tactics. Well, I think there's going to be a mixture. You're going to have rotation. You're not going to be starting the out and out 11. There'll be rotation. Do you think we'll play like we did against Brentford or Coventry City? Hopefully not. We played well against Brentford. So hopefully it's more like Brentford than it is Coventry. Qarabag and no mugs. They're in second place in their league. We need creativity. Sonny should start on Thursday night. Interesting. James is coming in here with some knowledge about Qarabag. Oh, look at this community being so good. Look at that. He goes on to say if Jankovic is out, his replacement is pretty good. At least not bad. By the way, this is verbatim. This is his words verbatim. Patrick Andrade. He confused it a lot since they're an Andrade he'll be talking about in the club. It's Patrick Andrade. There you go. He doesn't really watch the local league here, neither follow it, but it's not too important for this info anyways, because it's much more of a farmers league. So he's just cooking people out anyway. But he sees him playing in Europe with their main squad, and Patrick did very, very well. He'll be another one to look out for if Jankovic isn't back. So between the two of those, we're looking out for one of those two. As a 10, plays Benzia, the Algerian international. Puts in solid performances, nothing too special though. He'd say he's not too physical. I love that he's put his height in centimeters, 179 centimeters. What is 5'10"-ish? Which is kind of peak for me because he's actually a few centimeters taller than me. And apparently he's going to get bullied off the ball. So I'd do no well then, would I? And in attack, he said they mainly play a trio of Zubir on the left, Juninho in the middle, and Leandro Andrade on the right. If we see someone drop out here, it'll be most likely Leandro. Zubir is also short, not physical, likes dribble, but he can't really, to be honest. Van Gogh's just cooking these guys for no reason. This is brutal. He also makes bad decisions in the final third. That's of what he's seen from him mostly. Won't be much of a problem, I believe, to the defense, especially for Romero. That'll be Dragicin. Junior's an interesting one. He plays up front, but he was naturally a winger. He's a pacey guy, not too tall. His finishing is average, would say quite good for a winger, at least for Qarabag standards. If we get a good ball in behind the defense, he might cause trouble, but if not if Van der Ven is there. He hasn't seen too much of Andrade to know too much about him. There's also Marko Vesovic in the right-back position. We might see him play instead of Mateus Silva. He's more the defensive type of the fullback. There's also Abasov, who might replace Mustafa Fazadi instead of Badavi, but he doubts that. These names are starting to sound a little bit too similar. They've got two other forwards, but he doubts they'll get into the first 11 against the Spurs side. They'll stick with their regular forward line. So we'll come to it. There's loads more to talk about in a second, but we'll come back to that. Am I married? No, mate. Could a guy like Werner give Qarabag a hard time? Well, Van Gogh, you can answer this one. In terms of defensive depth, are they someone that would be like Spurs who defend at the halfway line? Are they someone like Arsenal defending the 18-yard box? Are they somewhere in the middle? Says pace merchant up front, you reckon start Van der Ven? I was thinking starting Van der Ven as well. Start Moore and Spence. Spence cannot start 7, unfortunately. He's not in the European squad. Do you know what's actually wrong with Richarlison? The club messaging about his injury seems really obtuse. Yeah, there's weeks where it's not serious, and there's weeks where there is serious. I just don't know what's going on, mate. None of us truly know. Hopefully a little mix of the guys. Wouldn't mind if Radu got another start. Would like to see either Bergvall or Gray or both for a half, but need a dub. Really hope we can grab this tournament by the horns. Good, mate. What a name, by the way. Good Head. That's a great name. Pause. I would say Dragicin definitely will be starting, which is obviously great. But what I'd say is I would hope Gray starts at right back, and I'd hope Bergvall starts in the midfield. Marshall with the same height, mate. Listening to names here sounds like an Australian team, all with unpronounceable names. Yeah, these names are mental. Honestly, Van Gogh probably is sitting there going, "God, he's got that one wrong. He's got that one wrong. He's got that one wrong." It's not easy. I'm trying my best. Will Spence be included? No, he's not in the squads. Spence will be perfect match. Yeah, I would agree. I was hoping he would be in the squad, but hey, there we are. Right, moving on to what else he talked about. He said there's a 20-year-old Akunzade, but he barely gets any minutes in European competitions, but we might see him play, so worth a mention, I guess. About the way they play, they like to create chances when they're in open space behind the back lines and putting the balls in behind. We're talking about an outstanding game for Mickey Van der Ven already. Putting a few more players to the box and they're stuck. Since most of them are short, they don't have any headers of the ball either. Good for us, especially for people that don't think we can handle corners. They like to play it from the ground, even the corners. They hesitate to put it across sometimes. So they're going to try and play it through us into the box. If there's someone that can throw it in with the header, it's Mustafa Sade, maybe Medina and Ramal too. Ramal is 129 centimeters, so something like the tallest in the team. There you go. Another thing about Juninho, he said he's not too sure, but he seems to be good at getting the ball in tight spaces because he was doing that against a random Bulgaria team. Most importantly about Qarabag, you never know how they'll perform. They drew with Atletico back in the day and have got some European experience somewhat. All these overall analysts about the team crumbles if they put in a good chemistry-based attack. You cannot afford to make many mistakes against them. You never know what can happen. As he previously said, they're either a Sunday League team or a solid European team. That's pretty much of it. So there you go. That's what Van Gogh has hit me with. So shout out Van Gogh, mate. Absolute legend for saying all of that stuff, mate. Was really, really helpful for me to actually kind of understand what we're going to be coming up against in the Qarabag form. You don't blame me, mate. The language is not even close to what English is. Yeah, it's night and day. Always love your streams, man. We'll watch the whole thing later. Have a good. That's all right, mate. Dude, peace out. Remove that. Good Lord. You're 175 centimeters. We're probably the same sort of height, football lover, mate. Every time I play a random team, they have a winger I end up fancying for Spurs. Orsic was that guy, was it not? Appreciate that, Van Gogh. So looking at this and how I feel about this game is obviously one that we should be going out there to win by multiple. And there's no disrespect to Qarabag. There's no disrespect to any fans of Qarabag. There's no disrespect to anything in the Azerbaijani league. This game, we should be going out there to win by multiple. For me, I'm looking at this game, we should be winning by 3 or more. That's the way I look at it. Go out there, make a statement in the Europa League. You'll probably end up being like top or near enough top of the Europa League after the first round. For me, I would say going out there, winning by 3, setting the stall out well, setting the campaign off on a really strong foot. Obviously, because obviously we want to win this competition, and obviously we want to set off really, really well, that we don't have to worry towards the end of the campaign, or if we do come up against the Hoffenheim and the Galatasarays and struggle a little bit, we don't have to worry about those games as much. Win your home games, grab 1 or 2 from the away games, cushy. But making sure you get the home games wrapped up, sorted, that's the important thing. Because your away games, other than Ferencváros, you've got away at Rangers, you've got away at Galatasaray, away at Hoffenheim. You probably think we're going to pick up some points in those 3. Within those 3, I'm saying not specifically one of them or 2 of them or 3 of them, but within those 3. This one, win this game, win it by multiple, move into the next game. And also, I think it will get a lot of fans who are on the edge, not this edge here, that's just a shelf, but on the edge, and they'll take a step back. They'll go, we're through in the cup game, we won at the weekend, and we've won against Qarabag in the Europa League. So it's not all too bad, The risk with this type of game is a silly injury to a key player. I would say so as well. Send Annie to Spain. Spurs score 3 and win. Send me back. Honestly, if you guys want to pay for it, I will go back in a heartbeat. I love Spain. It's one of my favourite places to be. Not an issue. I think we left plenty of alcohol there, so I'm happy to drink that as well. Not a problem. But yeah, looking at this game, for me, I'm going to go 3-0 Spurs win. And my goal scorers, obviously, like you said, get your comments in now. Tell me your scoreline. Tell me your goal scorers. You may struggle if you want to say Qarabag has a score. Unless you're Van Gogh, you may struggle to come up with a Qarabag goal scorer. I won't be offended if you don't give me one. But I'm going to go 3-0 Spurs win. I think I'm going to see a Lucas Bergvall goal. That's it. I think a Lucas Bergvall goal. I'm going to see a Radu Dragusin goal. I'm going to think a Brennan Johnson goal. They're my 3. What food do you like over in Spain? Tapas, my friends. Tapas. Paella especially. Seafood paella is fantastic. Tapas I love. Got to wash that down with something nice, though. You don't want a rum and coke with that. You don't want a beer with that kind of stuff. A wine, a sangria. That'll be all right. Live my best life. That's why I went out with a 6-pack, and I came back with not so much a 6-pack. Is there any chance we catch you live? Ears, man. You taking the mick out of my ears? What are you saying? One small detail to note: Ange doesn't have a good record in Europe. Hopefully, this will change. One thing I would say is on that is context, and I'm not digging Celtic out, but it's Celtic. Celtic aren't exactly a European monster. Maybe we might not be considered a European monster, but we're closer to it. So you would see a situation where he's going to be picking up his record. His record's going to improve. You reckon 3-0 Johnson, Porro, and an own goal, Mateus Silva. We will be there, Van Gogh. We will be there. What was the place you landed in Spain? Malaga. It was Malaga, my friends. And we traveled down to Mijas, so past Fuengirola. Past Fuengirola, down into Mijas, and that's where we were. I remember Celtic beating Man United in the Champions League many years ago, way before Ange. Epic game. Well, I remember that iconic 2-1 win against Barcelona with Messi, and they had about 10% possession. And Spurs legend Victor Wanyama played. And Fraser Forster played. Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Van Gogh's ears, man. Oh, that's a good one, actually, Marshall. I rate that. You reckon 3-0 Ilmatic? I like that. 3-0. Looking at it, I think 3-0 will be a great result. I just want to have a look at the Europa League fixtures for this first round. Let's have a look. Okay. So I'm having a look. I'm having a look at the big boys, and I'm not digging anyone out on that. I'm just having a look at the big boys. So it starts tomorrow. Galatasaray play at home to PAOK. United at home to Twente. Lazio away to Dynamo Kiev. Hoffenheim away to Midtjylland. Said that one wrong, probably. Nice at home to Real Sociedad. That'll be a decent game. Roma at home to Athletic Bilbao. Now, that's going to be a decent little game. I'm going to have to keep an eye on that game, that's for sure. Roma obviously got a new manager. I think their CEO or someone higher up quit as well. All sorts of changes for Roma right now. Ajax versus Besiktas. Lyon at home to Olympiacos. There's some good games in that round, actually. Some good games. Looking forward to that. 3-1, Slanky Moore, Saar. I could see that. Well, hopefully, Gamecock, you're wrong, and it's 3-0. But I take it. Would I take a 3-1? I'd say yes, just for the 2+ goal difference, 3 points. It's not all too bad, is it? That's not all too bad. But yeah, look, most important thing is obviously solid performance. Go out there, get a few goals. And the nice thing is, if we can be up by multiple, is then bringing a Lancashire on and bringing a Moore on, and Archie Gary getting 90 minutes, Bergvall getting 90 minutes, whatever youngster that we maybe have on the bench. That'd be nice to get. That'd be nice to get one on. You know what I mean? Got to keep clean sheet in this one, please. I hope so, Robert. I hope so. So look, we'll have to wait and see on that one because I'm looking forward to the game. Obviously, there's some football on tonight. You got the Chelsea game on tonight. I think they're playing Barrow. Which, if you don't know who Barrow are, it's I think they're in League 2. I think they're top of League 2. Man City are playing tonight. I think Leicester are playing tonight. This is the Carabao Cup, which just want to double check this. Just want to have a look at when the Carabao Cup draw is. Here we go. So I'm just reading it now. Tomorrow, just after 10 p.m. UK time, we will find out who Spurs get in the next round. There we go. Ange, for the love of God, please don't play Timo. The draw, I mean. Yeah, tomorrow, just after the Liverpool game. So about 10:15 p.m., they'll have the Carabao Cup draw. Obviously, into the next round. Let's just see how we go. We're into the fourth round. Pick up someone not as good, and we're cruising to the round after, But we'll see on that one, my friends. But yes, thank you all so much for joining me this evening for the preview. Obviously, if you're watching this back and you're not watching this live, get your comments in below. Let me know what you think about the game coming up. Let me know what you think the scoreline is going to be. Obviously, if you just want to say thank you to Van Gogh, he did all the work. This was just me repeating what he said. He's the guy that has some brains. I don't have any brains, so he did it for me. So shout out, Van Gogh. Appreciate your effort, mate. I always do. Absolute legend that you did that. I think we all know a little bit more about Qarabag, and I think when we play on Thursday, we'll spot multiple people. That we go, oh, that was on the preview. Oh, that was on the preview. Oh, him. Yeah, I forgot about him. Mustafa Sadsi. There he is. I've seen him. He's a monster. So thank you very much. Look, enjoy the rest of your evenings, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your days. I'll be back tomorrow to speak a little bit more Spurs. And I'll see you all a little bit later. Ignore Van Gogh. Always drink summer fruit squash. Never water. But enjoy it. Peace out, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your evenings. Ciao.